Hi, friends. Welcome to the Bunkhouse.
This here's Dodge City, queen of the cow towns, running a wide open game. Don't try to brand her, she's too wild to handle, too tough by far for you to tame.
I got to go to Texas A&M, and I got to start playing shows when I was in school as a student, and it really was a great way to get to start out playing, because there were places to play around Bryan College Station, and I could go to school and do something that, you know, that my folks could be proud of at the same time. So playing there in Bryan College Station was really how I got my start.
Oh, comforter of priceless word, send peace and unity on earth, support us in our final strife, and lead us out of death to life.
Mom, in 1933, at the World's Fair in Chicago, she had a terrible accident where she fell doing a trick that she'd done for years. And her arm was shattered, and they said, "Dad, you won't ever be able to use this arm again." And it was a bad break. It just, she had her arm in a cast for 3 years.
My goodness.
But she was not going to take no for an answer about the writing part. And she said, well, they weren't competing as much anymore. They had started to contract the trick writing. And so she said, Mitzi can help me. She can do all these tricks that I don't. I was 6.
You were 6 years old?
Yes. And Mother would do 3 or 4 runs, and I'd do 3 or 4 runs. And she was kind of nervous about it. I guess she'd sold them a bill of goods that I might be good, and she hoped I'd come through.
I was but a young man, wild and full of fire, a youth within my teens, full of challenge and desire. Ran away from home, left my mother and my dad. Grieved them so to think that their only boy was bad. I fell in with an outlaw band, the names are known quite well. How many times we'd robbed and plundered I could never tell. This kind of sinful living leads only to a fall. I learned that much and more the night I heard my master call.
You know, The Power of Prayer is a song that I wrote literally in the hours and days after my son was diagnosed with brain and spinal cancer. 2.5 years old. He was diagnosed in November of '08. And, you know, it was a very critical time for my family and I. And a challenge like we've never experienced before. A challenge I hope, you know, no one ever has to experience. But this is a special song because it is really that time of desperation when you turn to the Lord for guidance and direction and comfort. And, you know, maybe on the heels of all that, you even ask for a miracle. And we were so fortunate to be blessed with a miracle. My son is alive and well.
All of my fears go running like the tears from the sides of my eyes. He says, Daddy, what's wrong? You've been crying so long. And all I can say is, buddy, just lay right here for a while. But I'm dying inside with nowhere to hide. The power of prayer is strong. message is clear when all hope is lost and you believe you can't live any longer. The power of prayer is stronger.
You have a wonderful career as an artist. And tell us about that. What motivates you to be an artist?
Well, all my life I grew up wanting to paint and draw. And my dad had a lot of prints of Charlie Russell and Remingtons. And, you know, I looked on the walls of his bunkhouse and I said, I got to draw the front of Field and Stream. I want to be an illustrator. And it took me a while. I'm kind of slow. You know, I do things, it takes a long time to get going, but I did. I became an artist 25, 30 years ago after training and so forth. And I'm really living a wonderful part of my life right now, being able to work in films and paint some of my experiences from films and some from history, like the National Ranching Heritage. You know, I was able to do Las Escarbadas and a series of paintings on historical buildings. I'm just blessed.
But I belong to a master with wealth beyond compare. Though I'm only his servant, he gives me more than my share. He's the maker of mountains, of rivers and rills. He's so rich, he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills.
Do that early in the morning, whenever you're getting ready to leave camp and saddle up, and you just grab that and a cup of coffee and go saddle your pony and be gone.
Kind of make you a burrito.
You bet, make you a burrito.
Dish some of that out of there, Bill, and let's see what it looks like. Yeah, Clifford, when the wagon was going out all the time, like on the big ranches, they couldn't take eggs with them, could they? So they didn't have eggs.
They didn't have eggs. You know, when they first left, they probably would have had some eggs, and then if they came to a farm or a ranch house when they were resupplying, they might have bought some eggs, like at Fort Griffin, where it got going up the trail. Somebody had chickens, you know. But it'd probably been a treat for them to have eggs.
Oh, don't you know it would? Just like the desserts, if they had fresh fruit for the desserts. And then the tomatoes, they didn't have tomatoes.
Didn't have tomatoes. They had canned tomatoes, you know, because that was one of the staples. When you really got thirsty and had a can of tomatoes, you could drink that juice, have those tomatoes. That's one thing that they did probably have, but they were canned. They wouldn't have been that fresh like this. Unless
so canned things, when canned things came along, it really made a difference in their life.
You bet.
If folks would like to know how Bill and Cliff do this skillet scramble, turn to page 26 in Barbecue, Biscuits, and Beans. To order Bill and Cliff's cookbook, give us a call at 800-457-7966 or log on to our website, inthebunkhousetv.com.